The only thing I want purged is this film from my memory. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review, and today we're diving into the Forever Purge. A big thank you to Universal for giving me the chance to screen this early for review. This is the 5th and final film in the Purge franchise. It's a direct sequel to the Purge election year, a film that, well, yeah, it exists. But hey, we're talking about the Forever Purge, which is directed by Everardo, Gout, and starring Ana de la Reguera, Tenoch, Huerta, Josh Lucas, and Will Paton. The big premise of the film is after the one night every year where crime is legal, well, the Purge lasts, and it continues, and it goes on forever. It's in the title. But in all seriousness, this movie does try to touch again on immigration, racial tensions within the United States, and is a commentary politically and socially on what's going on in this nation. Now I'll let you guys know whether or not this movie conveys that message and provides an entertaining final film in this franchise. But before we get into it, if it is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where I talk about movies really like this all the time. So if you don't want to miss out, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and tap on that bell, y'all. Hit the thumbs up button if you're a big fan of the Purge franchise. And also let me know in the comments if you are too. I'll preface my review with this, guys. I'm not a big fan of the franchise, but I went into this movie with an open mind. And then I came out of this movie with, well, a lot of negatives. But let's at least start with the one thing that this movie does well, and that's give the center stage to Ana de la Reguera and Tenoch Huerta, both capable actors, both have been in quality movies and shows before this, and I do think that both of them are going to be great moving forward. This movie is not bad because of them. They try as hard as they can with a script like this that is, well, whew. And honestly, I really do feel bad for both of them. Ana de la Reguera was in Army of the Dead this year, and she did an amazing job. And then you have Tenoch Huerta, who is ramping up to be in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So guys, both of these actors clearly are good. So what went wrong with the Forever Purge? Well, let's get into it. And it really does start with the fact that this movie is boring. For all of the antics that this Purge franchise has given to us, you know, there's so much it could have done with this film, especially considering the fact that the concept is not terrible when you think about the fact that the Purge lasts for longer than one day. It is a horrifying thought, but the movie just doesn't execute very well at all, and that does start with the script. This script is just completely one-dimensional. There's not even, I wasn't even looking for layers, guys, but there's not even enough here for it to convey the one message I think it wanted to, which is America has a lot of work to do to overcome and right a lot of their wrongs. Both of our leads do experience lots of racism and discrimination in this film, and yes, the movie does show that and talk about that quite often, but what it doesn't do is ever make it feel real. It almost feels like a parody in and of itself, and I hate that because the film just doesn't say anything. And yes, I guess that's maybe too much to ask for from a film like The Forever Purge, but if you're gonna at least present the idea, really commit to it and go through all the way. But this film doesn't do that. And none of the dialogue here feels natural at all. I mean, even Will Patton and Josh Lucas can't pull off some of the lines of dialogue that are given to them. I guess that they really do try, and that's the one thing. Our actors here try, but man, the writing here is just terrible. And then you have the direction by Everardo Gout, and I'm not saying that he's a bad director because, hey, maybe he was just told to do it this way, but man, there's no good filmmaking in this movie. I mean, even all the action and the inner cuts in between the hand-to-hand combat, all the gunfights, and when the camera goes onto any moving vehicle, it looks bad. And then I could tell when the story really was running out of gas, and that's when they started over-explaining plot lines through news broadcasts. I'm sorry, that can be effective, but in this film, literally everything our characters are going to do next, we hear it on TV or on a radio broadcast. I mean, that's lazy. So we have a bad script, bad editing, not very good direction, and a really boring story. I mean, what's left? Well, honestly, you'd think, okay, maybe there'll be some entertaining action here, but even all of the action was really bland. I mean, goodness gracious, guys, they used the Wilhelm scream in this film. I literally laughed out loud. That was probably the most I laughed in this movie, and it wasn't because the film was trying to be funny. It was just because of how surprised I was that they've gone through 5 films by now. This is the last movie in the franchise, and this is the product that they deliver? That's not very encouraging, and I mean, I hope they don't try to do another film because this needs to end. I just feel so bad that the talents of Ana de la Reguera and Tenoch Huerta, even Josh Lucas and Will Paton, were wasted here. And it seemed like after the initial concept that was introduced in the first act of the film, nothing else worked. It's like they ran out of gas really early on. There's one scene that is just way too long, where a man in the back of a truck, he has a swastika tattooed on his cheek, is awful guy, vile character. He's explaining all of the gunshots that he hears the day after the purge. And I'm thinking, why are we listening to this? Why is the audience being subjected to this scene? And there are so many other scenes like it that just don't immerse me in the movie. Instead, it takes me completely out of the experience. And there's even a one shot in this movie that they managed to make really boring. So guys, I don't know what else to say about the Forever Purge other than if you're not really invested in this franchise, I don't recommend this film to you at all. To me, this is one of the worst movies of 2021. It's right down there with Thunder Force, and it's forgettable. The story is forgettable. By the end, I just don't really have any sort of interest in this movie. And I feel bad saying that because I can tell that some of our leads were trying their hardest here. But I'm sorry, this movie is just not worth your time. And then to top it all off, one of our characters here all of a sudden speaks Spanish at the end of the film with an accent. Now, I'm not going to name who that character is, but when you find out about them, you're going to really shake your head just like me. So guys, the Forever Purge, if I had to rate it out of 5, it's getting a half star, and that half star is reserved at least for the effort from our lead characters here. But man, just could have been so much better. So guys, there you have it. That's my real review of the Forever Purge, a film that debuts in theaters July 2nd. So when you see it, let me know what you think. Am I off base? Are you a fan of the franchise, and did this work for you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, hit the big red button, subscribe to the channel, tap on that bell, and hit that thumbs up button. Guys, we're so close to 5,000. I can taste it. Wait, no, that's lunch. Alrighty, y'all. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.